Hey mathematicians, in this lesson we're going to be multiplying a fraction and a mixed number using an area model. All right, let's see. So here's what it's asking us to do. It says I can multiply a fraction and a mixed number using an area model, and we're going to be doing 1/2 times 2 1/2. Another way to look at this problem is to find 1/2 groups of 2 1/2. So it's 1/2 of 2 1/2. And I'm going to model this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to model 2 1/2. So let's see here. I'm going to start with our area model, and I'm going to model 2 1/2. So I'm going to make two groups and then 1/2 of another. So let me go ahead and fill this in and show you which part we're working with. We've got all of this one. These are the two whole groups. And then we've got half of another one. Now what we're going to do is this represents, let's see, 2 1/2. And we're actually going to multiply this, or we're going to find 1/2 of that amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split everything in half. You can see here I'm taking my entire model and I'm splitting it in half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find half of all of that. So if I were to look at this amount here of all that I have, I've got 2 1/2, and I'm going to find half of that. Let's see, how many pieces do I have? Well, I know that a whole group takes up. So if I look at each one of these groupings here, there are 4 pieces in each one. There are 4 pieces now because we had it in half and then we split it in half again. And I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 out of 4 pieces. Well, that's an improper fraction, and I'm going to turn that into a mixed number. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to transfer. I'm going to move my pieces here from up above, and I'm going to just, again, I'm creating a new model that matches the ones up above. And I'm going to transfer. I'm going to move my pieces to show how I can make a mixed number. So let's take this first piece and let's put it here. Let's take the second piece and put it there. Take the third piece. Oh, I like these arrows. Oh yeah, I'm going to go all the way around this one. Cool. I'm going to take the fourth piece, move it to here. And then I'm going to take the fifth piece and move it here. Now, what I can see here by just transferring these sections into a new model is I have one whole amount and I have 1/4 of another. So 1/2 groups of 2 1/2, or 1/2 times 2 1/2, is the same thing as 1 1/4. All right, let's try a second example here. Let's do 1/2 times 1 3/4, or 1/2 groups of 1 3/4. So I know that I'm going to start with 1 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to model 1 3/4. And the way that I'm going to do this is to know that the denominator tells me exactly how many equal parts are in a whole group. And so I can see that there's 4 equal parts in a whole group. Now I'm going to model 1 3/4. So I have this entire whole right there. And then I'm going to have 3/4 of another. And this will model 1 3/4. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be finding half of that. So here's my 1 3/4, and I'm going to be multiplying it, or finding 1/2 groups of that amount. So I'm going to actually split this entire model into half. Now because I've split it into half, I have a new denominator. Each whole piece is now broken up into 8 equal parts. So actually, when I come out here, I'm going to know that my denominator is 8 because I've broken this up in a little bit different way. Now let's take a look at exactly how many pieces are there in half of my whole amount, which is 1 3/4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7/8. Now let's take a look and make sure that this is true. If this is true, when I transfer, when I actually move these pieces to a new model, let's see, I'm going to make a model that shows 8ths, just like my whole amount up above. And I'm actually going to start moving pieces. Let's find out here. Let's take this one and move it. There's 1. Let's see, I'm going to go through it here. 2. 3 is going to come around to here. I can put them anywhere I like. I'm going to take this one for, oh, I love these arrows. This is kind of fun. It looks like a maze. All right, let's see. 5, 6. Come all the way around here. There we go. And 7. Oh, sure. Look at that. It is exactly 7/8. So I know that 1/2 times 1 3/4 is 7/8. All right, let's do one last example here. In this example, we're going to be doing 2/3 times 2 3/4. Or another way to look at this is we're going to make a 2/3 size group of 2 and 3/4. Again, multiplication is either repeated addition or making groups. And so here we go. I'm going to start with my 2 and 3/4. So here's 1, and I'm going to break up my denominator there, the 3/4. It tells me that each of these is broken up into 4 equal parts. So here's 2 groups of 3/4. And let's see, let's split up a third one here. And now let's go ahead and let's shade in our 2 and 3/4. There's 1 whole group, 2 whole groups, and then let's do 3/4 of this one. Cool. Now this models, again, you can see this is 2 whole groups and 3/4. And we're actually going to be finding 2/3 of that amount. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break apart the entire amount, my whole 2 and 3/4, into thirds. And I'm going the opposite direction because it allows us to see the new denominator that's created by these models. So here we go. We have a new denominator of 12. So you can see that in each whole amount there are now 12 pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at how much is in what would be a 2/3 size group of all of this. So here we go. I'm going to find 2/3 of all of that. And I'm going to start doing some counting here. I need to figure out how many pieces is that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, wow, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, I can count well, I can tell. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, 22. So we know that there are 22 twelfths in 2/3 groups of 2 and 3/4. Now that's an improper fraction, and so I'm actually going to do some moving here, and I'm going to create new whole amounts. So I'm going to make my whole amounts show fourths and thirds. Here's my fourths. And I'm going to show thirds the other direction. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a couple of these. Let's see how many we end up needing. So let's see. So let's make this one show fourths and thirds. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start transferring here. So let's see. I'm going to take all 8 of these and I'm going to move them into this model. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. I'm going to take, let's see how many left do I have. I got 4. So I'll take these 4 here and I'll transfer them into this space. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take the other 4 and I'll move them over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to take all 6 of these. That's what I have here. I'm going to move them into this model. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I end up having is 1 whole amount and 10 twelfths of another one. So I could say that it's 1 and 10 twelfths. And if I reduce this, if I actually make this a reduced fraction, I end up with 1 and 5 sixths. So 2/3 groups of 2 and 3/4 is 1 and 5 sixths. All right, in this lesson, mathematicians, we multiplied a fraction and a mixed number using an area model.